Righto, I'm just doing a quick video on how to change the gear cogs on a John Shearer E-Series combine. This is a direct drill. There's nothing on YouTube, which is annoying, but I thought I'd do a quick video so everyone can see how to change the gear cogs easy. There's a little toolbox there. Hopefully when you've bought your machine, you'd get various different cogs in here. You've got to count up how many teeth there are as to the right setting. Change cogs, gear cogs, drive cogs. I'll show you how that works. Right on the machine itself, so you've got a seed box, fertilizer box, and a small seed box if yours came with that. Okay, so all your small seeds, pastures, clovers, lucens. Where your fertilizer comes in this bin, lid pops up, and I've got the lid up there for the seed box. Now inside the seed box you should have a grain fertilizer rate table. These are hard to come across, everyone's always looking for them, so screenshot that while you're going. I'll zoom in so you can see that's all your gear cogs, what different first, second, third, fourth and special gears, what rates you need to be on the table. So today, quickly, I'm going to be sowing wheat and coarse side. So a lot of people buy these machines, they don't ever get told that there's a fine side and a coarse side. I'm going to show you that very, very quickly. Jump up into the machine. Righto. So you've got a little flap there, they're pretty hard. You need to get something to get in underneath them just to pop them up. There we go. All right, so these things, they pop over, right? So that's the fine side. See how there's not that big a gap? So there's a coarse side and then there's a fine side. So you've got to flip this back over. I can, there we go. Now I've revealed the coarse side. So that's for wheat, oats, barley, your bigger seeds. If you're doing, say, pastures, I don't know, lucerne, you probably do that in the small seed box, but you can do it in through your fine side. So I've currently got all my flaps on the coarse side. Okay, so they're revealing the biggest side. Now, once you put all those flaps in the right position, put that down, and that'll stop the flaps from moving halfway through. Okay, so you get an even flow through your coarse side. All right, that is how you work out fine side and coarse side. So we're on the coarse side, we want to sow wheat. What gear do we need to be in? You need to work out your conversions. Now, keep in mind, wherever you are in the world watching, pounds per acre this chart is in. Okay, so pounds per acre. I'm in Australia. I wanted to sow this wheat to approximately 80 kilograms per hectare, not acre. So 80 kilograms per hectare. Jump online, whatever you need to do. 2.471 acres to a hectare. So, righto, how to convert pounds per acre to kilograms per hectare. We're working on the fertilizer side here. So use an online converter. So I want to use approximately 100 kilos per hectare. So 100 kilos per hectare equals 89 pounds per acre. So find the closest on your table to 89 pounds. I think there's 87 there. So find closest to 89. So what have I got here on the plain schedule? 87, okay? So I've got 87 come across and I need a 20 tooth, okay? So I need 20 tooth on this cog right here, the bottom cog. Now we're in 24 and 18, which is these two cogs here. So on the larger side, we've got 24. On the smaller side, you got 18, okay? And just look at the diagram of this 20 cog is driving the 18 cog, not the 24, okay? So you see on some of these other cogs, see the placement of this back drive cog is in different positions. All right, so we've got 20 teeth driving a 2418, so 2418 and a 20. I'll show you how to change those gears. Okay, that's my main drive cog, which goes up the top here. I'll show you how to take this pin out, drop this out, put that in, and put my 20 tooth. So this is my 20 tooth, needs to be placed in the right way. All right, so there's your little drive, which goes into the side of your cog. So this is my 20 tooth. I'm going to set this up for 100 kilos per hectare. Okay. All right, so my 20 tooth, put that in, it slots in, just there, washer over the top. If you've got a washer on yours, you got to loosen this one here. Okay, that'll slide up and down, and that'll allow you space to get your main drive cog in. All right, so go back to our diagram, remembering I've put that one in correctly. So see my space on the left hand side, and this drive cog in the exact same placement I've got it there as to how it is on the chart. Okay, there you go. So make sure you put them in the right way. All right, pop that in there one-handed. Can drop that out. That's just a pin that'll just go in between your cogs. Okay, cogs are in correctly. Drive cog, as per the diagram, needs to drive the smaller of the two. So that was a 24 and 18 and a 20 tooth. So 22 teeth to the 18, not the 24. Okay, hopefully that's in focus for you. All right, so you can lift this up, and that'll just give you space for getting your cogs up and down. Okay, all right, so place that down. Now we're just doing a video on how to select the right cogs for sowing seed. There's your table. So we've got seed on this side, fertilizer on this side. I want to sow wheat, and the previous video showed the difference between the fine side and the coarse side down in the seed box. Okay, so coarse side, wheat. Now I've already done an online conversion, so I want to sow 80 kilograms per hectare, which converts to 71 pounds per acre. Just do an online conversion. So just there for the seed, 80 kilograms per hectare equals 71 pounds per acre. Easy, Google it, do an online conversion, and you'll work out how many pounds, because remembering, our table is in pounds per acre, not kilograms per hectare, right? Okay, so what do we want? We want 71 pounds on the coarse side, so somewhere here we need to be, okay? Somewhere here. Now, if I shoot across, 18 teeth is my back cog, right? So just draw a line straight across to roughly where you want to be. So I'm at 18 tooth on the back one. I'm in first gear, so 24 and 15. That's a 24 cog on the left, and that's a 15 cog on the right. Now, I'll go down to the cogs and show you now. You just need to have that same layout. Here's your back cog, which was 18, remember? 18, driving the 24. So remember that layout? Okay, 18 cog, 24 cog, 15 cog in there somewhere, it's hard to see. Okay, so remember you need to get the diagram the same as what's up there. So that is now set up to approximately 80 kilograms per hectare of wheat. So this drive cog here, so that's your locking nut for that drive cog when you get it in. That one there will drive this chain up to this cog, which is for your small seed box. Okay, that's just a taking up the slack cog. So your chain will just come from that cog past here. That'll just take up the slack and drive from your drive shaft. Okay, so you got seed on the left and fertilizer on the right. So you've got cogs there, fertilizer, and seed here on your left. That is the SHEARER E-Series directional combine, how to change seed gears. When applying your seed rate, what you might find is, I've just found it just now, that if you're using this first column here, there's probably a space in between your main drive gear to your 24 and 15 gear. So there's a space in between here, and you've got all these correct. You know, the right teeth here, the right teeth here, but there's a space which doesn't allow that cog to drive this small cog. So let me show you why. So if you go down here, there's a little spot in the shaft here. My one was set up in that hole, which puts this drive cog too far back from this drive cog. So I'll connect that now, put my shaft into this hole. There's two holes there. Not that one, but this one, and it'll just bring that cog a little bit closer to be able to drive onto this shaft. So that's your reason there, if you get a little space in between those two cogs. Just change that shaft over to the closest slot. Okay, now we've got that shaft in the second slot. So see the one on the left rather than the one that you can see exposed. That's allowed my 24 and 15 cog, this one here, to connect to this cog. So it just pushes it all a little bit forward. So yeah, it just pulls out, drops back in. And now I'll put my next drive cog on, which just easily just slots onto there. So lift that up, so you can just gain space and push it on, like that. Do it up nice and tight. Screw on the end there is actually this little fella, so screw that on. Now that ends up being your nut to lock that drive cog in place, but also for this chain, connects onto here when you want to use your small seed box up the top. Alright, so that chain is driven by this cog, so that's driving the small seed box. This is just a fly cog, I think they're called. So it'll just connect onto there, take up the slack, and connect here to your drive shaft. So really you're driving your chain from here to here, and this is just in between to take up the slack. So when you're cracking this nut, and same as your fertilizer nut on the other side, put a pair of Stilsons on the shaft here. That'll just lock your shaft, so you can crack your nuts either side. That's your fertilizer nut, and there's your seed nut on the left hand side. Righto, pair of Stilsons, job done.